Oh, Jesus Christ. Welcome back, everybody, to Dorkology101. I'm Tony.
I'm Mark.
I'm Brandon.
And we're going to talk about Sony Game Pass. Now, full disclosure, I don't know nearly as much about this. This is a lot of Brandon and Mark. I'm going to participate as much as I can, but I am not a Sony guy. I'm a PC player because, I am an elite who lives upon high like Zeus, only less abuse.
I could say you're high until you can't get the graphics card, right?
Yeah. Hey man, until those times come, it's I'm partying like it's.
To be fair, it's not an issue for Tony for the graphic card since he has a laptop like a peasant.
Also very true. Although that will at some point limit me when certain games start coming out that my computer can't just handle. But for now, I'm good. The games I play are working just fine.
Basically, like the Nintendo Switch of PC.
Internet is my final boss right now. But anyway,
the Wi-Fi is your final boss at your place.
Exactly. But let's get on with this Sony. So let me ask you this: how do you guys, before we start anything else, how do you exactly feel about what Sony is doing?
Mixed feelings, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. I personally feel that they're basically like they took their, not that they're taking their idea, but they're trying an idea because they see it's popular, but not really putting effort into it.
It's basically copy my own work, but change a few things. So it's like copying like back in high school when I was copying my wife's homework and such, and making mistakes to cover it up. That's what Sony did with Xbox, if you ask me.
Okay, well, so let me ask you guys this, so I can see if I'm getting this right, because I did some general research. So my understanding of this is Sony's putting out a service. It's not exactly Game Pass as much as it is a live service. I don't know what you would call it. A live service. What's the word I'm looking for? Subscription, I guess, sort of.
Yeah.
And what they're planning to do is all the other games in their universe or whatever is going to be on this live action subscription or whatever. Which is why I find it funny to call it. It's basically Game Pass, but they're not calling it Game Pass because they don't think the Game Pass model actually works the way they want it to financially. But all the games that Sony themselves makes, they won't be adding to it because they feel that it would be hurting the quality of the games because they would be selling the games for so cheap by keeping it on a live service subscription for $10-15, however much they plan to charge for it. I was unable to figure that part out.
I can tell you the price.
I actually got the price too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, do I have a general understanding? Am I in the right?
No, you're doing fine so far.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right,
they have 3 tiers, right? Same as Xbox, and Nintendo only has 2 tiers. Like, I mean, Nintendo is hard to bring with them, but anyway, like they have the essential tier, extra, and premium right now. Per month, $9.99, $14.99, and $17.99. Disclaimers: it's US price. Because my price here in Canada is way higher. Well, way higher. I had $5 to $6 basically, but anyway.
Doesn't all at the end of the day kind of work out to be the same thing? I mean, just
yeah, it's the same thing. It's just we have monopoly money. But yeah, but the thing is, some game at DS you don't have all access to every game if you have like essential pack. If you have the extra, you have better game, other games, and premium you have other. You can have access to PS1, PS2, PSP, PS3, PS4, depending on the tier that you buy, which is a fucking dick move.
It is. I can't even lie to that. That's true. That's kind of
here's what makes it an actual dick move. It's going off the PS Now service, which everyone knows PS Now is trash because it's the only streaming service half the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Agree.
So if you don't have good internet, guess what? You can't play any of those.
Basically, if you have Tony's internet, you're screwed.
Exactly. I mean, but jokes aside on my terrible internet, while I understand the sentiment that, if you don't have a good internet, then, screw you with Sony Plus or whatever the hell it's calling itself. But isn't pretty much the gaming world currently, we've kind of stepped out of the realm of games that don't need the internet. Like, I mean, even games that don't really require internet are still tied to the internet. I'm trying to think of a specific game right now, but
I can bring one if you want.
But what's saying?
I can bring one game if you want. That's a single-player game, does not need internet, but there's internet attached to it. It's Persona 5, for example, where you can have a secret work.
There you go.
That can help you. Well, They can help you to some degree.
But the thing is, you
4.
don't need the internet for it.
No.
You could just not have that and keep going.
Yeah, you don't need it specifically to work, but it can be helpful if you're lost or don't know what to do.
Okay, but you can still play the game without the internet.
Yes.
Okay, but there are some games where it doesn't allow, like it's a single player game, and right now I didn't prepare a example for this case, but there are some games I've seen over the course of the last few years that are single player games that technically shouldn't need the internet, but you can't really play them without the internet, which is insanity. But that is the world we are continue to keep moving into. Where
like Diablo, for example.
Fair enough.
Diablo you can't play if you're offline.
Yeah, so there you go. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's just the idea is ridiculous that that's where we are, but that is where we are. So is it really a dick move if that's just where gaming is now? It's like saying, I guess it's like saying, oh, it is ridiculous that they are having microtransactions in their games. I thought they were better than that. And it's like, yeah, but the world we're in now, microtransactions are in almost every game now.
Okay.
Like the live service model is based on it now. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying based on what I'm learning so far, I don't personally like it, but at the same time, I get it. Like the tier thing is ridiculous to me. I don't know why you would have 3 tiers on a situation like that. That seems ridiculous.
Well, here's where I can look at it. The things I can do.
Okay.
PlayStation does allow you to pay for a year. It'll go 60, I think 100, then 120.
Exactly.
For like the top tier. That is the only thing I'm giving them in this.
That's for the year?
Yeah, it's 120 for the year for premium.
120 is for the premium one, like the top tier one.
Okay.
But here's my thing.
$10 a month. That's World of Warcraft prices. At least now.
Yeah, but you're not going to be able to do a lot of things with them.
Fair enough.
Because the fact of the matter is, they're not. One thing people brought up is that you can't play any of the
newer
the day ones.
Yeah, like Dawn Horizon or God of War or anything like that. And based off the interview I saw from the CEO, okay. Again, I don't really want to cape up for the rich and the powerful, but basically the explanation he gave is kind of a business 101 situation. If we're putting all this time and love into a game, and while I disagree that we should be selling games at $60 a pop, the idea that games are a lot cheaper to make now and they're far more expensive, which I find absolutely insane. But regardless, this is the market we're in right now, and it's only getting worse as there's talks of $70 games coming soon.
It's already PlayStation games are $7 flat.
That's absolutely insane.
And I don't want to see the price here.
Like Xbox and Nintendo were like, no, that's too much. PlayStation said, nah, it's $70 flat.
And it's making money.
It's $80 a year flat, by the way.
But, okay, so my thing is this. The argument being made by the CEO is that if we started giving out these games with the service, it would hurt the quality of the game. I mean, we're not going to put that much money and time into a game that people are getting for 10, 15 bucks a month, you know. Now, that's, I get it because, you know, it's a very weird argument to make because on the one hand, you're Sony, you can definitely put in the money easily to make the game, but at the same time, making a profit is the name of the game. And if you're not making a profit off the games and off the service enough to compensate for the loss of the individual game, you know, because basically you're losing, let's say the game is a flat $70. You're basically losing $60 on that game initially. But it depends on how many subscribers you get to cover that cost. So basically you would need 6 people subscribing to cover the cost of that game. Now I'm not trying to get into the deep math of this because I'm not doing all that, but that, you know, that's a dangerous loss. And so to mitigate that loss, you're like, you know, we're gonna cut corners on these games. We're not gonna make them as pristine as we did. And then fans are going to complain like, oh, the games are not as crispy and the stories are not as strong and whatever the case may be. Because one of Sony's best attributes, I'd say even better than Xbox and Nintendo, is their game quality. Like they have some of the most beautifully crafted games I've seen. Spider-Man, Dawn Horizon, God of War. These games look great, like amazing.
But
so
here's how I classify this, because people go, "Oh, Dawn Horizon is such this awesome game." I played the game, and then I go, "You know, this is Tomb Raider only with machines, right?"
Agreed.
I can't make it. I've never personally played Dawn Horizon, but everything I've seen on it and the reviews I've read on it is a very beloved game. So I can't throw very limited change into this pond.
So the thing is, I'm not throwing shade at PlayStation. They're a business; they have to do what they gotta do. But what I see where they're messing up is, you're gonna give a streaming service that nobody already wanted.
Fair.
You're then saying, "Hey, you can play these old games again, guys."
But you have to pay for it now.
But when PS4, they were the first people to say it. You didn't want us to play these in the first place because you made sure we couldn't play backwards compatible. Now all of a sudden it's okay because you really don't have anything to throw right now. That is kind of a contradiction to itself, especially because you're not going to give the games like an updated look or anything. To be fair, I love Sly Cooper, but I don't want to play Sly Cooper now after I've seen all the greatness of other upgrades. My eyes don't want to readjust to that.
I get what you're saying because I feel the same way about Knights of the Old Republic. I think Knights of the Republic is like a
masterpiece,
the pinnacle of gaming. But if you ask me to replay it now, no,
I can't do it. I tried.
That game is cancer for the eyes. Like
I'm currently replaying it, and I don't care about graphic because playing a game for graphics is like watching a porn for the story. There's no fucking point.
Is ridiculous.
Hold on, to be fair, some of the real estate stories be hitting different, but that's beside the point.
That's true.
That's beside the point.
There are some interesting stories to be seen, usually in hentai, but that's another thing.
We don't
the ballpark there.
But it's
not the section of hentai with senpai now.
Man, don't give me ideas. Like,
but at the end of the day, this is the facts.
Don't get me started now.
Xbox can afford to do that because they have Xbox money. You know,
they got that Microsoft money.
All they gotta do is ask, "Hey, Daddy, Microsoft, can we get along with?" He goes, "All right." He goes in his pocket, goes, "All right, bet. How much you need?"
Yeah, when you got Microsoft backing. No, let's not dunk on Sony. I mean, obviously Sony is not even the same pool as Microsoft, but Sony's got enough money to if their arguments, and I know I'm sort of kind of contradicting on what I just said, but like, if they want to still make quality games and put them on their service, they can do it. Like, it's not like Sony is hurting for money, at least the last I checked. So, I mean, if they were, they damn sure wouldn't have spent all the money they did on acquiring Bungie and shit. Like, yeah, so, but I don't know. I guess just my view of it is simply this. And to be much like the CEO said, this could change, you know, generally even overnight if the numbers stack up. Now, do I think that's actually going to happen? Only if fans drop off hard. Like if the numbers of subscribers don't start coming in the way they want to, they'll have a choice to either abandon the project altogether or to start adding what people want. So, you know, you might luck out to get what you want within the year.
Do I think it will happen? No.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, let's be honest.
I mean, here's the fact. PlayStation doesn't always give its consumers what they want because they're just like, this is how I've always seen them. And I've owned 3 of 4 or 5 PlayStations now.
Yeah, I'm just missing the 5.
This is their argument. Why do we have to give you what you want? You're still going to come back here anyway. They are literally a drug dealer. They give you one hit and tell you to come. You'll come right back.
That's kind of, I think, at this point, every console that you have latched. That's like me and Steam, like, or well, more or less Bungie. Actually, even more breaking down Destiny. Destiny is actually the perfect example of this. And this is why I think that, I guess this is why the live service model is so dangerous. And that is, oh, hey, listen, here's this thing. I have this game, and I know you're weary of it. I know that, all right, but give me a second. It's free, all right? It's free, and it's interesting. You and your buddy should play it. And then you play it, and you start to engage into it and whatnot, and you start telling yourself, okay, this was cool, but, like, is it really as great as I thought? That doesn't matter. You see, you've already played enough that you don't want to be left behind while everybody else is getting all kinds of interesting stuff. So you keep playing to get that interesting stuff. But then you start to realize that, well, if I'm putting all this time and work into the game, I might as well make my character or my bike or my jet or my spaceship or whatever customized so everyone recognizes how much time I put into the game and how cool my stuff is. And that's what microtransactions come into play. Microtransaction is the name of the game when it comes to live service, and that's what they're fishing for. They know that microtransactions are where the real money is. And that's why they're choosing to go the route of live service over the traditional Game Pass. You know, it's just more money in it, which is why they can't seem to figure out why Microsoft would even go the Game Pass route. I mean, much like you just said, Microsoft didn't have to worry about this. So for them, it's just like, hey, we'll get more people subscribing if we just offer a Game Pass. Like, it's very simple.
Here's my whole thing with microtransactions, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have a problem with them only because if you give me a half-finished product and then expect me to buy microtransactions in a half-finished product, then what was the point of me buying this in the first place?
Agreed.
That is the $1,000,000 question.
I am being fair, so I'm gonna put.
I'll tell you exactly. I'll answer that question because the game is free, and the game is free, and no one's forcing you to buy them. You know, I mean, it's not like you bought the game and then it was incomplete. You have the choice to play the free version. There's no strings attached, but you personally can't help but continue into the game to the point where, well, I found it interesting, it was fun, and, you know, I got nothing else really going on right now. Fine, I'll buy the game, especially if you got friends who are playing it. So you say, screw it, I'll buy the game, I'll drop the additional $50, $60 to get it. And now that you're in this universe because you've paid for the game, you gotta play it, right? You spent the money on it, you gotta engage with the game. But engaging doesn't necessarily mean good or enjoyment. That's the most, I say, the most misunderstood aspect of gaming, live service today especially. And that is, engaging doesn't mean entertaining. It just means they found a way to get you to keep coming back for more. You know, that's just what it is. It's a habit. And that's what Destiny ran on for quite some time. Now, they've gotten a lot of their act together. To be fair, I mean, I'm a big Destiny apologist to a certain degree.
I would have never guessed.
Well, the fact is that I recognize the issues they were dealing with, the promises that were made to them, the issues dealing with Activision and whatnot. It has hindered their process with this game for so long that when they finally broke free, they had to stand on their own. They couldn't just jump into bed with another company or whatever. They said, screw this. We're going to ride this thing ourselves. And basically begged the fans to, hey, stick with us on this, trust us. It's going to be a while until we can make the money back that we need and, you know, get on our feet to give you the quality. But we need you to stick with it. We're going to put out some real mediocre stuff, but that's all we can do right now. And yeah, it hurt Destiny for a while. But they delivered on their promise, which is a far better game now. You know, and because of this product growing, getting better, Sony realized, this is some untapped real estate right now. Let's absorb that shit. Let's play ball. And they did. You know, they did, and now they're in a better place than they've ever been before. They were the company that's willing to give them the space to do what they need to do without hassling them, you know, or trying to do anything that Activision did. It's one of the reasons why they refused to go to Microsoft, although they already had pre-existing issues with Microsoft even before Activision came into play. But now Microsoft and Activision together, they want nothing to do with them. So Sony being
the problem if they think that PlayStation won't do something similar, actually.
Contract-wise, it would seem that, again, I'm not in the room with the lawyers and the things of that nature. I'm not there for any of the signings or the agreements. But based on everything that has come out about their agreements, and that is that Bungie will have full control of the ship. They will be allowed to create the game they want to create, put out the content they want to put out, and so on and so forth. They will have the full backing of Sony to do what they do. I mean, it makes kind of sense. I mean, Bungie knows the product better than anybody does. And on top of which, they've already seen how the game can be hurt by outside forces like Activision. They know that already. So it's better to just let them do what they do and reap the rewards.
Is that why Destiny is leaving Game Pass? Because they let them do what they want? Or is it because they are dick riding Sony because they want him to keep giving the money?
Wait, say again?
Destiny 2 is leaving Xbox Game Pass.
Oh, well, that makes sense. I mean, they're on Sony now, so that kind of makes sense.
They're a Sony property now.
Yeah, they're a Sony property.
I know.
At the business point, it makes sense. I can't be mad at it.
Yeah. I mean, hell, they're going as far as removing the credits from the game temporarily while they add all of Sony's logos and things into the credits. Found out about this last week. Yeah, it's no one cares, but they mentioned it in TWAB, and it was like, yeah, okay, that's fine, whatever, who cares? But they announced it.
Who was the credits anyway?
That's essentially the deal. Like, it was one of those things where it's like, hey, we just want you to know this thing is going to happen, you know, just in case anybody who beats the game or the base story and wonders where the hell are the credits. Well, there you go. You know, if you even remotely cared.
You know that the black screen where you see letters and you won't skip it, it's gonna be gone for a while.
So most people skip.
Yeah, so if they're willing to go to that far for something that mediocre, yeah, there's no question that they were leaving Game Pass. And it's like Brandon said, from a business standpoint, that makes absolute sense. Yeah, I don't see Sony messing with Destiny, at least, let's just say at least Destiny. Now, the future projects that Bungie's putting out, because they are apparently working on something pretty big that they're excited about, that has been talked about for the last year or so. And so I can't wait to see what it is. I really hope it's good because I would love to play another game, a Bungie game that is hopefully as fun as Destiny for me. And considering the starting point they are at now, it's not like before. They are now have the staff that they need. They have the growth that they can look forward to. So now they can really run with the ball and do some stuff. But this is where it's a little different because now Sony is going to be like, all right, when it comes to Destiny, you can do you. But this other stuff, we're going to be taking a lot deeper look, put a little hands on what's going on here. You're not going to get to run with the ball the way you did with Destiny.
It's like, I'm going to say it point blank because I'm not a Microsoft, not a Sony fanboy. I'm not anybody's fanboy. I just play what I like to play.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is where me as a business person tells Xbox, look, you're supposed to have all these games come out this year, right? You're supposed to have Starfield, Saints Row, Fable, I think was delayed.
Fable was still a thing?
Yeah, Fable was actually being rebranded. It's actually coming back.
Oh, yeah.
With good graphics. Graphic update, remake everything. Because it's supposed to come to PC and Xbox.
I tried playing Fable 1 and I was like, this is trash. And I never tried to play another Fable game again. Everybody keeps saying Fable 2 is better. I don't know. I gave it the Dragon Age treatment where the first game couldn't sell me. So, regardless of if the second one is good, I just don't care. Like, that's kind of the deal. You lost me.
Like, Starfield is supposed to be like this big interspace, kind of like Fallout, kind of not like Fallout.
Mm-hmm.
And my brain just does this. Xbox, you have a lot to prove. Because you've just been getting shit on. Because I'm gonna be
Xbox, honest. You have a lot to prove. Is Xbox sitting on the throne of its jewels?
Like you're still on the throne.
Like,
here's my thing. Your game sales for your exclusives are next to none. I know people. The only reason they have an Xbox is just for Netflix.
That's pretty hilarious. I don't know why I would spend that kind of money on an Xbox for just Netflix. That's
still cheaper than a PC.
True. Although you don't need a PC to watch Netflix.
Yeah, you can just go to the browser with that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, everybody has something to prove. PlayStation has solidified itself. It's one of the best storytellers. Nintendo, it don't got to worry about nothing because all it has to do is put out a Mario game and it's good. All it has to do is put out a Zelda game and it's good. They just put Kirby out. For someone who's not a Nintendo person, I spent 4 hours playing Kirby. And forgot I was playing Kirby.
Nintendo's that console that can pluck at your nostalgia strings and make money. Like that's just what they're good at doing. They make good family games that are essentially low stress. Not saying all their games are low stress, but
I was about to say, have you played Breath of the Wild being chased by these old machine? It's not a low stress game.
But even that it's no like Dark Souls or it's never usually. I can't say never, but it's rarely so. What's the word I'm looking for? Like there's just a style that Nintendo usually goes for, whereas Sony and Xbox, everybody has their respective domains. Sony and Xbox live in the future, whereas Nintendo lives in the past. And they offer that past, by adding new things, and I say new, but, they revamped.
Mario went to space, he went to an island, he went everywhere.
Exactly. Next is Mario under the ocean type nonsense. Whatever. There's always a way to stretch Mario into something else. To stretch Zelda into something else. Like there's always a way for them to do that. And they have
but sometimes a timeline though. But
yeah, they have enough properties to do all kinds of stuff like that. But they always tend to live in the realm of nostalgia, and that's something Xbox and PlayStation can't really do. It's just their games are too complex. And a lot of people want the next big thing that they offer. You never see, like, when they have E3 and, Sony and Xbox are up, and they're like, oh man, I hope their next game, oh, it better be hot. They the best new graphics and then the games better be cool. The stories need to be cool. They always need to be more innovative than the last games that were put out. No one ever says that with Nintendo. Nintendo starts talking about what they're gonna do, and everybody's like, "Oh man, I hope it's a new Mario game." I really look forward to that new Zelda game. I hope they remake. That's another thing you get too. It's always, I hope they remake something with Nintendo. You don't get that a lot with Xbox and PlayStation. Not that some people don't want a remake of their favorite game, but for Nintendo, it's just another day at the office for them. Like this is just what we do. So they know their respective fields.
Yeah, and boy, do they are good at making it. They
are. They're very, very good at it. The reason Xbox can hold on to its underwear is because it's Microsoft, and they have all the money to support Xbox regardless if they make a profit or not. That's an incredible thing to be able to do. Something that Nintendo and Sony would love to be able to say.
Nintendo can do it.
I don't know about that.
No, I've always read an article. They can go bankrupt for. They can basically have no sale for 200 years and still make money. Like they can live off their money for 200 years.
No. That's not what I said. I said making a profit. If you can go without making, they can make money. Well, I guess that essentially goes with what you were saying. So okay, that's fair. Fair enough, I guess. That's fair. If they can do it, because I mean, it goes right back to what I said essentially. Nintendo games live on nostalgia, and nostalgia is not something that can easily be wiped off the board. It's something you love, you feel comfortable about it. I love playing Mario games for the most part because they're very comfortable for me. With that said, though, can't remember the last new Mario game I've played. Like, I think the last one is probably Mario Sunshine. Yep. I think Mario Sunshine is the last Mario game that was an actual new game. Yeah, okay. I loved it, by the way. I know it has many mixed reviews.
No, it's my favorite also. So I
loved it. I thought the soundtrack was absolutely a banger. The artwork was beautiful. I thought there's not a negative about it that I had, which surprises me why it has such mixed reviews. I think a lot of people, if Mario's not out there throwing fireballs and challenging Bowser, then it's not a Mario game, I guess. You have to play the hell out of some, Luigi's
Feels like you get the same treatment as the Majora's Mask on Zelda.
Yeah.
It's not fighting Ganon.
Look, I have yet to play that one, and I've been wanting to play it. So,
which one?
Majora's Mask.
I've never played Majora's Mask.
Oh my god! My second favorite Zelda.
I will make the confession. Live on this podcast, I have never played Majora's. I have seen it be played. It looks fun, but I need to play it.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I ended up playing it. Okay, so here's a little. I guess we're making confessions. I cared about Zelda. Personally, it never did anything for me. I watched my buddy Nigel play Majora's Mask, and it was a cool game. I ended up getting it just before my honeymoon. I know that sounds absolutely hilarious, but we're on a cruise and there's a lot of hours, where, listen, there's only so much sunbathing a man can do before he wants to do something else. That's just what it is. And I was mostly on that ship drunk. So, open bar, baby. I was sopping it up. Alcohol was going out of style. Man, that was the best part of it. God, I love that cruise. But I was like, you know what? For those days where I'm, that I'm not doing something with the missus or whatnot. And I know a lot of people are like, well, there's a lot of things you could be doing. Yeah, and we were on a week cruise, bro. Listen, there's a lot of other stuff I want to do. But yeah, I ended up buying it and getting it for DS, I think it was at the time. And actually had fun playing it. I got that, and I got, what's the next one with the Ocarina of Time? I actually really like Ocarina of Time.
Ocarina of Time is the first one.
Okay,
then you go to Majora's Mask.
Okay, so I guess, yeah, whatever. I played both of those. Ocarina is the one with the flute, an ocarina.
The ocarina.
Yeah.
I
ended up playing both of them, but obviously these were the remastered version. Everything looks really nice or whatever for DS, and I enjoyed both of them. I mean, it was no Mario, but I enjoyed it was a more complex game than Mario games are. Mario it's stupid simple. At least the games I grew up on. But yeah, so, going back to what I was saying, Nintendo can survive on those kinds of things. They can say, hey, guess what? We're putting out a new Zelda. It's a remake of Majora's Mask. And people are going to buy it. They're going to go nuts and buy it, and they're going to talk about it. They're going to make reviews about it. And that's just kind of how it is. Even Pokemon. Actually, that might be the greatest example of all of them. Pokemon... Yeah. Holy shit.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's the example.
Exactly. And damn it, if it's broke, I mean, hell, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. For Nintendo, it's broke. We don't give a shit. We're gonna put it out anyway. But yeah, Pokemon is probably the single greatest example of what Nintendo can do. So yeah, I guess you are right. They could survive the next 200 years on just nostalgia alone to make a profit. PlayStation, profit-wise, as far as I'm aware, is doing just dandy. And Xbox is floundering, but Microsoft don't care. Like, Microsoft is gonna make money in so many other avenues that Xbox is, at this point, just the kid they look after from time to time. Like, hey, we're gonna put out a new Xbox, guys. You don't care? Yeah, we don't care either, but some of you guys are gonna buy it. But yeah, going back to the Sony live service / Game Pass. So you both play PlayStation. Am I correct in this? You both
I own a PlayStation.
I own a PS4, PS3, PS2, PS1, PSP, name it. I have it, except PS5.
So I assume both of you are going to get this service.
Nope.
No.
No, really?
Nope.
Ooh, you guys are so stones.
I refuse.
Let's see how long that lasts.
Fairly long.
I can see you guys in I don't know when this is launching for them, but a few months after it launches, one of you guys are gonna hit me up I caved because I didn't realize this game was gonna be on it too, and I really want to play it, and blah blah blah.
I'll be honest, there's not any more PS exclusive that will keep me away from either Xbox or PC at this point.
That's fair.
I only play their first party games on my PS. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, same.
I can only play things I can't play on my Xbox or PC.
Exactly, like Persona. Back in the days, Final Fantasy used to be an exclusive to PlayStation. That's the main reason why I was in PlayStation, for JRPGs. But now they have it on Xbox, they have it on Nintendo, and hell, they have it on Steam now.
The only reason I'm playing Final Fantasy on my PC is because I refuse to pay. I refuse that PlayStation decided, hey, this part of the story you can't play on PS4. You have to get a PS5.
Yeah. Are we talking about Final Fantasy VII?
The remake, yes.
Yes. You know what? I'll stick with my Final Fantasy VII original. I don't care about the graphic.
I don't know. Final Fantasy is the game that is in my blind spot. I've never wanted to play Final Fantasy. I've never played Final Fantasy. The closest I ever got.
If you ever do play Final Fantasy VII, level up Aris by the end of
you don't have to worry about that. That's not gonna happen.
Never play it. The only way he would play it is someone sponsored him to play it.
Yes, fair enough. I would play if someone was like, "Yeah, we'll pay you to play it." Sure, okay. I'll begrudgingly play this game for the money, and I'd make that very clear too. Hey guys, I'm playing this for the money. Actually, no, I wouldn't do that because sponsor-wise, they wouldn't want that. But like I said, the closest I've ever gotten to playing Final Fantasy was the Final Fantasy Online, and I played, I think, one day with Mark, and the next day I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. The game's too confusing. It's all over the place. I don't know any of the lore.
To be completely honest, I have my Steam account open. I have around 500 hours, which is not much, but considering my my time that I have to play, it's plenty.
Uh-huh.
And then I check out my friends who play the game, and here we have Mr. Tony, supersized, with his big 2.2 hours played, and I have to assume 1.8 was creating his character.
Hey, damn it if you ain't right. That's what I
1.8 is being generous. It's probably way more than that.
Final Fantasy sucks. There you go.
Fuck you.
Whoa, we're not going to say that. Excuse me. Final Fantasy community, not all of us on this podcast feel that way. Please do not shut this podcast down.
Exactly, not because of an uncultured swine when it comes
you don't
to
have to keep your secret feelings, all right? You know, let them out, let them flow free. Final Fantasy sucks, and we all agree, right? It's okay.
That's your feeling, sir, not the rest of us. Please don't lump us in the same boat.
It's your feeling, they were right.
Listen, I accept the fact that it is I'm willing to accept the fact that it is a very colorful and interesting game. But it just, I don't know, the game, there's something about it. It's because, I'm not a big fan of turn-based games, yet I love Pokemon, which is one of the most, probably most well-known turn-based games out there. Although Final Fantasy is probably on parallel with that. Like, I mean, Final Fantasy has been around for quite a while. Has Final Fantasy been out longer? I want to say Final Fantasy's been out longer, but I would have to look it up.
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, because Pokemon came out, I think, in 95?
87 for first Final Fantasy when Square Enix was about to be shut down.
87? Holy... They dunked on Pokemon.
It's when Square Enix was about to being shut down because they were, well, that back in the day was Squaresoft. But they had financial issue, games were not selling, so they called Final Fantasy the Final Fantasy because it was their last game, their last hope, and it skyrocketed the company there.
My goodness.
Yeah, and then they made the stupid game, what's the name, on Super Nintendo, Marcus, you should know that one. Mystic Quest, that was for because they thought people around here in the States or Canada were retarded, so, yeah.
But going back to the
I'm the bad guys in case you didn't understand that so far. Stuff like that all over on the game. Jesus Christ.
So that's a significant I think that's like a 10-year difference between Final Fantasy and Pokemon. So Final Fantasy is definitely the elder of the turns, but
regardless,
getting back to the original. As far as I've gathered, I understand why people are, especially you guys, would not be a fan of this move that they're making. I get that. I personally see it as an understandable business move where I would also be like, well, tough shit. Like this is business, kids. Like you're trying to make money here. I get it from both sides. If I had to land on one side, it's Sony. Honestly, it's Sony. This is how people make money. This is how we move forward. This is how you get quality games because they're making money. I don't know if that's 100%.
I mean,
I can't even think of the word I'm looking for here.
Look, from a business standpoint, I could see what they're doing, and I get it.
Me too.
Because we could say this, as all of us here are Twitch people, we sometimes have to look at stuff as business mind, not fun mind. But at the same time, I look at this and I'm like, this is really dumb. If you were going to just put this out, there was no point even put this service out. Just keep giving. Yeah. That's my 2 cents on it. Just like.
Anything else you guys want to add before we close this out?
No, I think we're pretty good.
No, I'm good.
All right. As always, guys, I want to thank you guys for coming. This was a very enlightening conversation. I didn't really have much of an opinion as far as this goes. As a matter of fact, it flew under my radar entirely until you guys brought it up. But I enjoyed learning about, what madness that PS is coming up with to make more money. Why don't you guys let them know where you can be found on the internet?
You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Hover, and pretty much any streaming platform or whatever social media platform, at LeonardX44.
You can find me on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, XPad, TikTok, basically all of your social media locations.
And you can find me, Super Size Senpai, on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, obviously. And as I will be also dropping a Discord server that I finally sort of finished. I finished it enough to invite people to join it. But yeah, I think that's it. And please like and subscribe, as it means a lot to the channel. We're trying to grow. Hopefully I can end up with 100 viewers on this channel by the end of the year. And I guess as always, deuces.